Soldiers of Shoot. Welcome, troops, to Soldiers of Shoot. I am your host, General Stames, and with me tonight, sitting to my left, in the usual seat of Hollywood Edwards, is the Electric City Saint, the Steamtown Stunner, Mr. Bobby Ventura. How you doing today, Saint?
Doing pretty good. I'm hanging in there. Having a pretty good night so far. How are you doing, bud?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. And just a couple of things to talk about tonight. I don't know if you were paying attention on any of the social media platforms, but of course we saw the big match on Friday night with Kofi Kingston in the gauntlet match. He went through it, passed through, flying colors, beat them all. And then that dirty, rotten scoundrel, Mr. McMahon, comes out, makes him beat one more guy. That guy happens to be Daniel Bryan, the champion. Kofi can't get it done, loses his opportunity for WrestleMania. Supposedly, we'll see how that goes. On social media, I noticed that Big E and Xavier Woods have been very active. Big E has been pretty much talking about, you know, guys like us, we can only get so far, kind of teasing a racial thing. And Xavier Woods is saying he's got other talents and video games and stuff like that. Both of them talking about leaving and asking Kofi to leave the WWE. So here's my question to you, Saint. Obviously, I think this is all storyline. Where are we going with this in this whole Kofi Kingston story? Do you think we'll see something like Stephanie stepping in and telling Vince, you can't do this? Will a bunch of the guys, the boys, you know, march into Steph or Triple H and say we're all quitting? And how are they going to finagle Vince McMahon to putting Kofi into this match? Or do you think they are going to even get him in the match?
Well, I'll say for sure, like you said, I think what they're doing right now, it does seem like they're just playing off of like the storyline, and it further builds towards that and makes it almost even seem like legit, like they're purposely holding him down. I really like, you know, as much as we don't really care for the social media stuff these days, like I think it's good that, you know, they're playing it up online. As far as, you know, the match, I really not 100% sure how they're gonna get to that point. I mean, they still have 2 weeks, but right now I look at it like, I look at it like they're probably gonna have like the talent actually like come out to the ring and, like you said, like maybe do like some kind of boycott or sit-in or something like that, like and get to the point where they're going to be the ones that essentially get him towards the match. I think that makes the most sense. Or, you know, of course, like as you and our good buddy Jeff Edwards has said multiple times, I think they could always do the route of having Stephanie step in and play up the whole idea with the crazy old man storyline. So I don't know. We'll see, bro.
So did you happen to watch SmackDown?
Yeah, I did. I actually, you know, for the most part, pretty decent show, especially coming off of that weird Raw. That was for this being like the build up towards Mania, that Raw show, bro. I don't know. That was a very, very strange show. Very strange.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't good. So were you satisfied, happy with the reaction that Kofi got from the fans? Do you think the fans are behind him enough to give him this monster push?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I look at it this way. There's no other potential matchup I think that would make sense, that would have that build and would get that reaction right now as doing the Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan. I mean, right now, like even on SmackDown, the reaction they got, Vince, this is funny because sometimes people think Vince is crazy, but at the same time, sometimes he does very smart things, because they got exactly the reaction they wanted from that. I mean, I even went on Twitter like about maybe 2 or 3 minutes after the show, and I just typed in a couple of phrases like pissed off or bullshit and stuff like that. And literally 90% of them were Kofi related. And there were a ton of these tweets. So they're doing an excellent job getting what they want out of the fans from this.
Yeah, and I guess the ratings showed that too, because it was the second highest rating for a SmackDown show of this early 2019. So, second highest ratings of the year. Fan reaction was good. Kofi Kingston, let's give him the push, man. You got anything else to say on this?
Yeah, I was actually going to ask you, like, I'm going to give my opinion on it real quick first, but I want to actually ask you, how do you actually feel like that match is going to go? Because there's a lot of things, a lot of different possibilities they have for this match. Obviously, the big one would be Kofi actually winning the match, which I think that's the most probable one at this point. I think it makes the most sense. But at the same time, there were also two other things I feel like they could do with this that would make a lot of sense and could potentially be huge. I mean, of course, I think AC's mentioned it. You guys have mentioned it. They could obviously have the New Day turn on Kofi. Of course, I think I personally wouldn't want to see them do that, but I think it's a strong possibility. But the other big thing, and I think this is something a lot of people might be forgetting about or like might not be mentioning, this could be a big opportunity to really establish a big major heel, like a big monster heel, because I think a lot of people are forgetting the Mustafa Ali thing. He's a guy that he has a legitimate gripe still, and I feel like it would be huge for him to screw over Kofi and have them go in that direction and have them feud, because you look at Mustafa Ali on the pay-per-view there, he did not get a good reaction at all. Like when they tried to have him be the face of that match, the crowd wasn't behind him. So to me, I think, the best thing for him to do actually would be to turn heel. And what better way to do it than to have him screw over the guy that's, chasing the dream of winning the world title at WrestleMania. I mean, it would be huge, bro. The reaction they would get from that, wow, I can't even imagine. He'd be booed out of the building.
Oh, he'd get monster. No doubt about it. Monster heel heat. I would hate to see it just because of the fact I want Kofi to win the belt. But, yeah, he would get dynamite heat. Now, I'll say this, though. To me, I don't know if it makes sense that he has a bitch, because he kind of got that title shot in the last pay-per-view, right? He was thrown in that match with Kevin Owens, and Ali was actually the one that took the pin. He was pinned by Daniel Bryan, wasn't he? Or was he pinned, or did he tap out?
Oh, jeez, I don't even remember. I think he tapped out, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he was the one that lost the match either way. So I don't know if he has a legitimate gripe there. Another thing I was thinking was, if they didn't give Kofi Kingston the shot, if they decide to give it to somebody else, although I do think they will give it to Kofi Kingston, but if they didn't give Kofi Kingston the shot and they decided that Daniel Bryan was going to wrestle someone else, you could always send the New Day into the ring and just demolish everybody in the ring during that match. I think that would be a pretty cool thing too, if Kofi doesn't get a shot. But if you're asking me what I'd like to see, I'd love to see Kofi win the belt, obviously. Do I think that's going to happen? I have my reservations on that.
Yeah, I think we're in agreement. I'd like to see Kofi win that match, but I kind of like agree with you, bro. I'm a little uncertain right now what they're going to do with that, and I also think it depends on where it's positioned on the card, because I think obviously if they have that end the pay-per-view, he's definitely got to go over there, bro. But if it ends up being in the middle of the show, that will have me worried, because that would lead me to automatically think that he isn't going to win, or he's going to get screwed or something.
Right, absolutely. All right, for the Electric City Saint, I am General Stames. So long. We'll see you next time.
Soldiers of Shoot.